Good day, everyone. We are the reporters for session 8, and we will be reporting about fiscal transfers after the Mandanas ruling and NTA sharing for the local government units. So first, let's discuss about fiscal transfer. Fiscal transfer refers to the flow of resources from a higher level of government or the national level to lower levels or the local government units for public expenditure. It is the system by which the national government allocates a portion of its revenues to local government units to support their functions and promote local autonomy. What are the purposes of fiscal transfer? So first, to enable the local government units to provide local services such as roads, health, sanitation, etc., especially when their own revenue-raising capacity is limited. Second, to equalize fiscal capacity across regions to reduce disparities among rich and poor local government units. Third, to ensure autonomy of local government units in choosing what to spend on, aligning with local priorities. And fourth is to promote accountability and efficiency by bringing government closer to the people. Now let's proceed to the legal basis of fiscal transfer. So first is the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Under Article 10, Section 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the local government units shall have a just share as determined by law in the national taxes which shall be automatically released to them. It guarantees local government units a just share of national taxes, forming the constitutional foundation of fiscal transfers. However, the actual computation and release were left to be defined by statute, the Local Government Code of 1991 or RA number 7160. Next is the Local Government Code of 1991. Under Section 284, it provides that the local government units shall have a share in the national internal revenue taxes based on the collection of the third fiscal year preceding the current fiscal year as follows. So first, on letter C, we have on the third year and thereafter, the computation shall be for 40%. Before the Mandanas ruling, fiscal transfers to local government units in the Philippines, known as the Internal Revenue Allotment, were based on a formula that limited their just share to 40% of the national internal revenue taxes collected by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Section 284 of the Local Government Code fixed the local government unit's share at 40% of the national internal revenue taxes collected by BIR during the third fiscal year preceding the current year. Next is Section 285, Allocation to Local Government Units. It provides that the share of each province, city, and municipality shall be determined on the basis of the following formula. So for population, we have 50%. For land area, 25%, and equal sharing is 25%. Section 285 of the Local Government Code prescribed the manner of allocation among local government levels, provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, and their respective distribution formulas. Fiscal transfer mechanism before the Mandanas ruling. So first, the basis of the computation of the internal revenue allotment is the 40% of the national internal revenue taxes collected by the BIR. Next is the year used for computation. The computation is based on collections from the third fiscal year preceding the current fiscal year. Next is the distribution among local government units. Under Section 285 of the Local Government Code, the total internal revenue allotment was divided as follows. So for provinces, we have 23%, 23% for the cities, 34% for the municipalities, and 20% for the barangays. Each category's share will be apportioned depending on the following: population 50%, land area 25%, and equal sharing, which is 25%. And release of funds automatically released by the Department of Budget and Management without need of further approval or request. Next is the issue faced in the pre-Mandanas fiscal transfer system. The narrow tax base. The internal revenue allotment was computed only from national internal revenue taxes collected by the BIR, excluding revenues from customs duties and tariffs, which are collected by the Bureau of Customs, excise taxes on imported goods, and other national taxes, for example, documentary stamp taxes not remitted to BIR. This narrow interpretation reduced the local government's share compared to the total national taxes, which is intended by the Constitution. So to summarize my report, before the Mandanas Garcia ruling, fiscal transfers in the Philippines were governed by the Internal Revenue Allotment System under the RA 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, anchored on Article 10, Section 6 of the 1987 Constitution. The national government allocated 40% of the internal revenue taxes collected by the Bureau of Internal Revenue to local government's units. However, this narrow interpretation excluded other national taxes and limited local government units' financial capacity, setting the stage for the Supreme Court's Mandanas Garcia decision, which later expanded the base to include all national taxes. Thank you.
Um, Good day, everyone. Today I will be continuing the report, which focuses on the transformative period after the Mandanas Garcia ruling. Okay, so actually, or as we have learned previously from the discussions made by our classmates and of course by Father Dan, the Mandanas Garcia ruling it's like a big bang in the Philippine decentralization because it fundamentally changed the like how the national wealth is shared with the local government, right? Now, this case has been discussed before, as I've mentioned, but just to very quickly recap on the facts, this case basically challenged the method used by the national government to compute the statutory share of the LGUs in the national revenue, arguing that there is a restrictive definition in the local government code, which violated the Constitution. So basically, they were contending that there were conflict between the Constitution and the local government code. Kasi daw, in our constitution, it says national taxes, but the local government code, sorry, it says national taxes. It says just share in the national taxes as enshrined in the 1987 Constitution, as you can see on your screen right now. But under the local government code, it says na it is only limited to national internal revenue taxes. So unconstitutional daw ni siyang provision. That's how did the court ruled in this case? They basically ruled that the phrase internal revenue under section 284 of the local government code is unconstitutional. They further ruled that the determination of the just share of the LGUs must be based on all national taxes collected and not just the national internal revenue taxes. Actually, this has been also mentioned by the previous reporter, but this is just like a reinforcement for us. So that's actually the birth of the Mandanas Garcia doctrine. And what does it say? Of course, as you can see on your screen, it says that the LGU share must be computed based on all national taxes collected. And just a good to know, guys, the decision was actually promulgated on July 3, 2018, and it became final and executory on 2019. But it was not until 2022 when the doctrine was applied. And why is that? Because, well, the Supreme Court said that it was too late to include now the changes in the 2019 budget since the Congress already approved the GAA, the General Appropriations Act for that year. So disrupting the cycle for 2028, 2021 would be imprudent na daw. So that's why it was only applied on the 2022 budget. So just to get clarification, before the Mandanas ruling, and again, this was mentioned by the previous reporter, this is just to reinforce, before the Mandanas ruling was applied, the share of the LG was only the ERA or the Internal Revenue Allotment, which was only based on the BIR collections. So, di ba, dili good, very big ang ilang share compared to after or compared to what they are getting now after the Mandanas ruling was applied. So, let us know, let us now discuss what really happened after the Mandanas ruling. So obviously there was an impact not just on the LGUs, but of course on the national government too. And what did they do during the transition? Both of them. What did they do? So so of course, um, we know na after the Mandanas ruling, obviously there was an expansion of the tax base. And again, the LGU shall have just share, dili lang taxes from the BIR, but also from all other national taxes, even those collected from the Bureau of Customs and all other agencies. Um, and aside from that, it was also renamed from ERA to NTA or National Tax Allotment. Now, my group mate will later discuss on the details of the NPA sharing, but just to quickly discuss lang, just like an overview, the NPA shall be automatically released to the LGU. This principle is embodied under Article 10, Section 6 of the Constitution. So the national government cannot stop or cannot hold back the taxes being given to the local government units for any reasons at all. And as a consequence of this, of course, there is a devolution of functions from the national government to the LGUs. And some of this are already mentioned by Father Dan, but yeah, just want to add this to the reporting. So how do they do it? How does the devolution work? So first, there was a mandate of full assumption. The increase NPA share mandated the LGUs to finally and fully assume the functions and services devolved to them under the local government code. The core of this mandate is found in Section 17 of the local government code. Um, and I just want to be clear though, this did not introduce a new rule. There's no new rule. It's just a reinforcement of what the LGUs should implement. So they should kanang ano daw kanang function sa una sa national government ma-i-assume na sa sorry functions sa una sa national government na devolved naman so i-assume na siya completely and fully by the local government code. And then second, as to the local economic development, this empowerment directly fuels the local economic development. And with this enhanced financial capacity, the LGU can now directly implement projects and interventions that are tailor fit to their specific needs and priorities of their communities, supporting grassroots economic growth. They don't have to wait for the national government to do that. And then thirdly, this strengthen a local government unit autonomy in funding, because the funds are because the funds um because the funds are their constitutional share, the national government cannot directly impose which specific programs or services the LGU must fund. The LGU has the autonomy now. They can decide what they want to fund, what they what projects they wanna do. That's the autonomy that they now have. And then of course to handle this new responsibility, the LGU must prioritize rigorous financial planning. So they are required to review their financial resources and expenditure needs and to start updating key planning documents such as their comprehensive development plan or the um, COMDP, and then which I will be discussing later, the annual internal investment programs, and to fully sign their budget with their new expanded responsibilities. Okay. Now, the Mandanas-Garcia ruling fundamentally shifted power, and it directly impacted the national government agencies too, not just the local government, which we will discuss further. And they have been directed to undergo a major institutional transformation since there was a shift, diba? So, the agri transformation, and during that transformation, they there were scaling down PPAs. What does PPA mean? It means program projects and activities. So, scale down na ang national government sa ilaang mga projects, programs and activities because why? It will be now the LGU who will assume that, diba, as we have mentioned earlier. And the transition period will be within 3 years. Now, um, there will also be a steering function, shift to steering function. And what does steering function mean? It means that the national government agency's core role now is to permanently transform from direct service delivery to a steering role. Basically, kanang bitang murag they are no longer the doers, di na sila ang murag the do, but instead they are now the guiders or they are now guiding the LGU na lang on what to do. Kasi syempre the LGU are new to this pa man during this time, diba? So what does this steering function include? It includes policy service standard development, provision of technical assistance in capacity building, and finally monitoring the performance assessment. And there's also, of course, organizational adjustment, and which this organizational adjustment, it required national government to modify their internal structure. And then how did they manage this transition? First, they have the DPP, and that's to ensure that this massive transfer of resources and responsibilities is smooth, strategic, and fair across all localities. So the national government established specific support mechanism primarily guided by an executive order, which is the EO 138. So that means both NGAs or national government agencies and the local government units were directed to prepare and implement DPPs to ensure the systematic implementation of full devolution. What's a DTP? It's the devolution transition plan. It's like I think a document. Our father actually made us do an activity regarding this previously when we were tasked to interview mga public officials, diba, about their DTPs. Now, both the NGAs and the local government units have to prepare DTPs. And the next is the by building capacity development or CapDev, the one I've mentioned earlier. Now, the national government is providing support through capacity development to ensure that the local governments will absorb, manage, and sustain their new responsibilities. And what are these, or what are the CapDev program? um, they assign agencies like the DILG, the DBM, the DOF, BLG. They assign them to support the LGU in providing technical assistance and CapDev programs. Mura sila trainers bitaw, mura gina-teach nila how to do this. So there's financial training, there's mga strategic training, something like that. So it's basically like teaching the um, LGUs on what to do, and that's part of their steering function. And then finally, the GEF, or the Growth Equity Fund. In a nutshell, what this is like in order to help katong mga localities or mga LGUs that are not as financially capable as other LGUs. So in order to help them build during this transition, the national government allotted GEF or Growth Equity Fund, especially for these people. And then, so just very, very quickly summary of the report. To understand the Mandanas Garcia shift, the government is or underwent a transition and the structuring. Before the ruling, the national government controlled most funds, but after the ruling, it is now the LGU that controls them. And during the transition period, the national government assisted the local government in, throughout that transition. So that's basically it for this report. Now we will be discussing the NPA sharing, which will be discussed by my fellow groupmate.
Okay. So I will be sharing to you about the NTA share of the LGU based on the local government and the Constitution. So first, what does the Constitution say? So under Article 10 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Section 6 says that local government units shall have a just share as determined by law in the national taxes, which shall be automatically released to them. Section 7 also says that local governments shall be entitled to an equitable share in the proceeds of the utilization and development of the national wealth within their respective areas, in the manner provided by law, including sharing the same with the inhabitants by way of direct benefits. So what does the local government code says? So under section 284, or it was already discussed by the previous reporters, specifically letter C, on the third year and thereafter, 40% shall be based on the national internal revenue taxes based on the collection of the third fiscal year. So the provision itself is so verbose. So let's have a formula to compute this 40%. So the LGU's aggregate share is set at 40% of the national internal revenue collections, now the national taxes, of the third fiscal year preceding the current fiscal year. So the third fiscal year that was based on this formula was on the 2022. So the formula should be in getting the total NTA for LGUs, it should be 40% times the total national tax collection on 2022. For example, if the total national tax collection in 2022 is around 4 trillion pesos, then NTA for fiscal year 2025 is around 1.6 trillion. So to dig deep on the percentage, it was discussed in the section 285 of the local government code. Provinces should have a 23% of the NTA, cities 23% also, municipalities 34%, and the barangays 20%. So based on the previous example, the 1.6 trillion pesos should be divided based on the percentage share based on the level of LGU. So for the provinces, 23% of the 1.6 is 368 billion. Cities is 368 billion also. Municipalities is around 544 billion. And barangays is around 320 billion. So Section 285 was the legal basis for that computation. So provided, however, that the share of each province, city, and municipality shall be determined on the basis of the population as to 50%, land area 25%, and equal sharing 25% also. Provided further that the share of each barangay with a population of not less than 100 inhabitants shall not be less than 80,000 pesos per annum, chargeable against a 20% share of the barangay from the internal revenue allotment. So the formula for this is okay. So this is the summary of the NTA share of the LGU based on the population, land area, and equal sharing. So As provided in the slides, provinces and cities have the same percentage, while municipalities has 60% of the population, 20% on the land area, and 20% on the equal sharing. However, in the barangay, there are two instances that the NTA is computed. This is based on the formula, which is population 60%, on the equal sharing 40%. Or in the last paragraph of the section 285, it was provided that 80,000 pesos per year chargeable against the 20% share of the barangay from the internal revenue allotment would be guaranteed to each barangay with a population of not less than 100 inhabitants. So, example for this, for the province, suppose there are 82 provinces and province A has 2% of the national population and 3% of the total land area. So the equation will be as follows, given in the screen. So for the population, the 368 billion pesos that was allocated for provinces shall be multiplied by the formula given in the screen, or the equation that was based on the supposed problem. So population will be 3.68 billion pesos. Based on the land area, it should be 2.76 billion. Equal sharing is 1.12 billion. So the total NTA share of the province A is around 7.56 billion. Okay. So for barangay, since there are two instances on how to compute for the NTA share, this example is for the equal sharing formula. So suppose the total NTA for all LGUs is 1 trillion. So barangay share is 20%, multiplied by the 1 trillion, the barangay share is around 200 billion. So suppose there are 42,000 barangays nationwide with a total population of 110 million people. So in the equal sharing formula, 40% of the 200 billion barangay share, the sum of 80 billion will be divided to the 42 barangays nationwide. So that is around 1,904 and 761 pesos. For the population-based formula, suppose there are 42 barangays again, and the total population is still 110 million. Example, Barangay A population is around 2,000, and Barangay B population is around 10,000. So the formula for this is 60% of the 200 billion barangay share should be computed. 60% times 200 is around 120 billion. So this 120 billion is computed as follows. The barangay population over the total national population. So then it will have the sum of, for barangay A, for the population of 2,000 and a population-based formula, 60% of 120 billion, then the NTA for Barangay A is around 2.1 million pesos. And for Barangay B, which has 10,000 population, they should have 10.9 million pesos. So the summary for the computation is that for Barangay A, which has 2,000 population, for the equal sharing, they have the same equal share. Since it was equal share, they have the same equal share for A and B. For the population share, it varies since the population varies also. So for Barangay A, the total NTA share is around 4 million, and for Barangay B, for 10,000 population, the total NTA share is around 12 million pesos. Okay. So another computation for the barangay is then is where if a barangay has a not less than 100 inhabitants. So for example, Barangay C has a population of 120 people. Their NTA share must be guaranteed to 80,000 pesos. So based on the local budget memorandum number 90 issued on June 13, 2024, the the NTA share for 2025 based on their computation on the BIR collection, the Bureau of Customs collection and other agencies totaled to what's this? Is that 1 billion, 1 trillion? I know, but it's 1,34,604,869,000. So that would be the basis on the NTA for the sharing of the provinces, cities, municipalities, and the barangays. So here is the breakdown for the based on the percentage shares of the provinces. So as you can see on the screen, it totals to the number of LGUs is around 43,622. This is all over the Philippines, and the total share NTA share is around 1,34,604,869,000. So this data is based on the local budget memorandum number 90, and it can be generated on the Department of Budget and Management official website. So lastly, for the breakdown on all the regions of our of the Philippines, you can refer this on the local budget memorandum in the official website of the DBM. So, for the last report that it was discussed, this automatic release doctrine. So, Section 286 of the Local Government Code of 1991 states that the share of each local government unit shall be released without need of any further actions. So that's the key point of the Section 286. So to summarize, Section 284 to 286, I have presented this a summary table for us to remember what are the key rules of each section. So for Section 284, it focuses on the allotment or the 40% allotment of the national taxes, and it should be 3 years prior from the fiscal year that supposed to receive the NTA share. So, if for 2025, dapat ang basihan is 2022. So, for Section 285, it is about the allocation or the percentage allocation for provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays. And for Section 286 of the Local Government Code, it is for it focuses on the automatic release without conditions or delays. So thank you. That would be all for our report.